Hey guys, how we doing? It's Martin and Cliff here with another news update from here in my studio in Hong Kong. It is Wednesday, January 15th, which means it is my 36th birthday. Woohoo! Now, at this age, it's not really something to celebrate in any big way, but I'm feeling quite blessed at the moment, so I am gonna enjoy it anyway. Partly because I realised, it's a pretty decent milestone to achieve without having any broken bones, any significant health issues. I spent one night in hospital in my life, and that had nothing to do with health and a great deal to do with why I've got a scar under my chin, which is why I've not really been clean shaven since I was 21. So life generally is good. I'm also feeling very happy because I've reached 200 subscribers on my YouTube channel, which feels like a significant milestone for some reason. Now, I've been doing the YouTube channel now for 4 years or just over, at least in terms of regular updates and stuff. So I'm pleased that I've achieved this milestone, and I'm going to do something special for it. So if you are one of these 200 subscribers, first of all, if you're not someone who lets people see who you're subscribing to, as in if you subscribe to my channel and I don't know you subscribe, unfortunately then there's not a lot I can do about it. Out of the 200 subscribers, I think I can see about 130 names, and so those people, one of those people will get something. I don't know what yet. What you're definitely going to get, someone, a name that is going to get picked out of a hat, and will get an executive producer credit on my new album. Executive producer doesn't mean you do anything, it just means it's someone whose support is valued. So that's cool. But I'm also looking to do something special, some kind of giveaway. Haven't thought about it yet, but I'm going to take a note of all the names of the people, and I will be in touch once I've thought of what actually I'm going to do, or what actually I'm going to give you. So check your inboxes or whatever for that, if you are one of my subscribers, and thank you. If you don't subscribe yet, then hopefully I'll reach other subscriber milestones in the future, and I'll come up with more cool things. So click subscribe, like my videos, it's all good. So what's been going on? Well, what did I get for my birthday, I guess, is the first thing. From my mum and dad, I got a new graphics card for my computer, which was much needed, because obviously when we moved to Hong Kong in the summer, I left my old computer behind, so I was using my old laptop. It's about 4 years old, just over now, and then built a new computer here. At the time, was just using the integrated graphics. Now it's Intel Haswell chips, so the integrated graphics aren't bad, but certainly for gaming, and also more importantly for me, for video rendering, it wasn't ideal, because the Vegas uses the GPU to accelerate video rendering. So I wanted to get something a bit better. So my parents, when they were over here, bought me it's an MSI NVIDIA, what is it, GTX 650 Ti Boost. It's the 2 gig twin Frozer design with the silent cooling. Really nice card, certainly about the best graphics card you can get for a sensible amount of money. Obviously if I wanted to spend £200-300 I could get something higher spec, but for what I need, I'm not playing fast-paced fancy graphic games at 1920 or whatever like that. So for what I want to do, it is perfectly adequate, and most importantly for me, it speeds up my rendering process, and it's quiet. So my computer is still pretty much silent, even though I've got a graphics card with big fans on. So that's a win. From Eva, I got a new bass amp. Now, I haven't owned a bass amp, a proper bass amp, in years. In fact, I'm trying to think when I last owned a bass amp. I had a Trace Elliot BLX 80 for a while when I was playing Undiscovered Soul, that I bought really cheap on eBay, because I needed a bass amp for that, and I'd used one when I was 18 and liked the sound of it, and it did the job. and ended up selling it for about the same amount I got it for. So other than that, I haven't had my own bass amp probably 10 years. I had one, Ed, who was the bass player in Voided Project and the Timber Merchants. He had 2 bass amps, 2 Warwicks, and he left one in my studio, so I was able to use that quite a lot. And other than that, I had an old Marshall Bass 60, which was huge, not very loud, not very reliable. So that didn't get a lot of use. In fact, it spent its last 3 years in my shed. And then I gave it to a friend who also had one of those for spare parts. So I figured it was about time I got myself a real bass amp. So Eva very kindly for my birthday bought me a TC Electronic BG250. It's the 1x12 version, so it's nice and light for carrying around. It's still huge, but it's not too heavy, so it's reasonably portable and sounds really good. I got it on last Friday, and I've not played through it a lot because it's my birthday present, so I don't want to play through it too much before now. But I've experimented with it, just tested it out, made sure it was all okay, and it sounds great. And as far as I know, it's the first one in Hong Kong because I had to order it from Germany. It's one of these crazy things. I went around various music shops here in Hong Kong. Tom Lee Music, who is the biggest music dealer in Hong Kong, is a TC Electronic dealer. Did they have this amp in any of its forms in any of their shops? No. So, I mean, this was before Christmas. I haven't been around since Christmas, so maybe they've come in since. But you know, in the end, it worked out probably very little more expensive to import it from Germany than it would have done to have bought it locally, and then I would have had to deal with lugging a 17 kilo huge bass amp on the bus or on the train or whatever, whereas getting it delivered to your front door, that's a win. Okay, so other than that, I don't really have any other news. Obviously, this is my first video of 2014, and this is definitely my first video since coming back from the UK, which as a whole, I've got to say, was a good trip. I mean, obviously the circumstances were not easy. It's never easy to say goodbye to a loved one, and my granddad was an awesome guy. I know, well, most people think their grandparents were awesome, but my granddad truly was. He'd had an amazing life, and you know, the funeral and all that was a really fitting tribute. It was really nice as far as any of these things can ever be nice. So we said goodbye to him in the best way possible. I'm really glad I managed to get back to England for it, and I'm also really glad that while I was there I got to meet up with some of my friends. My friend Nick, who we've been mates for 34 years, and then my friend Rob, who I've known since we were children as well, and who played in Voided Project. And I also got to spend the weekend down in Staffordshire, in Cheddleton, so saw everyone from church, and particularly Astons and Estridges, who were even our closest friends over the last decade, really. So that was pretty awesome. In terms of actually celebrating my birthday, we're looking to go out Friday night to a local-ish Mexican restaurant and bar in Kowloon. It's only a reasonably short bus ride away, so really looking forward to that. Again, just with a handful of friends. Timing wise, my birthday is not at an ideal time just because of when it falls in the year, because it's obviously just after Christmas and New Year, and then particularly over here it's also just before Chinese New Year, which is 2 weeks time. So it's hopefully it means things will be a little bit quieter, but looking forward to having a good night out, good food, maybe some nice tequila as well. Okay, anyway, I've waffled on enough. Just to say welcome to 2014, and thank you all again for subscribing. If you are a subscriber, then keep an eye out in case there's a message from me saying I want to send you something, give me your address, or maybe just something digital. I don't know yet. But yeah, until next time, take care, guys, and I'll see you soon.